Sorry about that, guys. I'm just doing a couple of different things all at the same time. Had some had something I was looking at previously before from yesterday. So anyway, good morning, y'all. I hope you guys are having a great morning. Big day today. SpaceX IPO is dropping today. I hope you guys got your coffee ready because it's going to be a little bit of a busy morning. Anyway, guys, also I wanted to talk about a little bit what I talked about previously before. If you guys are just joining the Discord, if you guys are new here to the channel, I'm Jordan in the Discord, Jordan Belfort, and I run the Trading Labs channel, Expert Trading Labs panel for StockMo, and we do some paper trading around here. Also, we do some live trading every once in a while. Just so I can show you that you can incorporate these things into your paper trading, into your real trading. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be going over a couple of different market things here. We are just now opening. We got a couple of more minutes until we can do a little bit more trades. We're going to do a couple analysis on this, on the SPY, and then we're also going to go over a couple of different other things that I'm looking at currently. So just kind of jumping right into it. So like I said about, what was it, last week or so, I think last Tuesday, I really emphasized what your guys' goals are and what your guys are trying to accomplish when you guys are joining this Discord, or whenever you're joining somebody's live, or when you're joining somebody's classroom. Well, I wouldn't say everybody's a classroom learning environment like ours, because it's not true. Ours is by far the best. Honestly, hands down. Hands down, it's the best. We got all the greatest tools in there that you ever need and will ever need. We break stuff down in great detail, and all that other good stuff. So, like I said, guys, like, what are your guys' goals? What are your guys' financial goals? What do you guys want to get out of this Discord? What do you guys want to learn? I mean, let me know in the comments below. What your goals are. I would love to hear, like, maybe you just want to earn a couple of bucks here and there. Maybe like an extra $100 a day. If you do that 5 times a week, that's an extra $500 a week, and you multiply that by 3, maybe 4, because 3-4 weeks out of the month. I mean, you're talking about some serious money. You're talking about some serious bills. Good morning, Crypto B. How you doing, brother? Also, maybe you're just here just to learn. Is there something that I can learn that I can possibly teach my son or daughter, or maybe, my brother or cousin, or my wife, or, whoever you're spending the most time with? What are you, who are you doing this for? Are you doing it for yourself? Or are you doing it for, your family? Are you trying to just get financial freedom? Maybe you got debt, you know what I mean? Maybe you have like some small debt, like $10,000, and you're trying to climb out of that hole. Maybe you took out a loan. Maybe you want to pay your car off. Or maybe you want to just have regular income coming in that you can get rid of, to pay your mortgage or your rent. You know what I mean? Or pay your electricity bill. We make some serious moves here, and you can incorporate that into your everyday life. Maybe write down your bills. Maybe write down, like, okay, I don't know how much you guys are paying for electricity. I pay a bunch over here because I live in Arizona, so it's hot. We get in the hundreds. It's currently already 77 degrees outside right now, and it's 6:30 in the morning. So put that in perspective for you. We're gonna have I think today's high is gonna be like 103, so we got that AC running. Yo, Amy, good morning. How you doing? Like I said, guys, get your coffee ready. We're gonna be doing some charting. We're gonna be looking at a couple of different stocks. If you guys are interested in me doing, reviewing stocks, let me know in the comments below, and I can chart those out for you guys. My electric bill in South Texas is 180. Not bad. See, even that. See, if you made one play, see, I mean, you guys already know, if you guys are a part of, if you guys been in here for a little while, you guys already know that we easily get a couple $100 per play. Uh, what was the last one that we did? I think we made, well, I think Tuesday I made like 6K just off of the volatility. And volatility is really great. If you guys know exactly what you guys are looking for when you guys are trading and you guys are trading momentum and stuff like that, we can make some serious bucks. I mean, think about that. You just kind of add them all together. Your electricity bill, your rent, maybe your car payment, insurance, all that other kind of good stuff. You guys can, uh, kind of write that down and then kind of implement that of how much you need to make per day when you do that trading, and you guys can incorporate that into your guys' stuff. And we're here to kind of guide you and kind of do that and give you just like the general guideline of how to do things. You know what I mean? That's why we have the class library. That's why we teach, EMAs, support and resistant lines, all that other kind of good stuff, kind of option chains, flow, and all that other stuff. Good morning, Dash. How you doing? And we want to be able we want you guys to be able to do this kind of stuff on your own, so that way you won't need me or Mo or any of the other experts. We do a lot of the legwork for you guys, when we're picking out stocks or stuff to trade or anything like that. So so we're trying to teach you guys, to be unreliant on us at all. The biggest flex that we can ever get, or the biggest compliment that we can ever have, is as teachers and stuff like that, is for you guys to go off and implement this on your own and do this on your own. So that's pretty much kind of what we're about here. So enough about the spiel. We're going to kind of just jump right into the charts here. So yesterday, I mean, as you guys know, the past 5 days, we've had that big sell-off. Obviously, we had that big EMA cross right here. We caught this nice big wash. What was that, Tuesday? If you guys were in my live, you guys knew exactly what I was looking for. I called the bottom right down here at the 50 EMA test. So kind of when we started the live, it was up here, I think right around 740. And I was like, all right, we're gonna kind of watch this. I think we're gonna come up, test the 5, possible 13, and then we're gonna reject all the way down and possibly clear this gap right here down to 724. We got all the way down to 724 and then a little more, and then we got that nice big bounce. As you guys know, the 50 is a big support or resistance area, so it's something that you kind of got to watch for. When you're trading in general, is this going to wash down below, or are we going to get a candle that bounces off of here? Who really knows? Obviously that's why we kind of watch and we kind of wait, but we can anticipate these moves by knowing exactly what we're looking for, and that's exactly what we got. I see this setup happen plenty of times. It doesn't matter if it's on the daily candle or on the daily candles, or if it's on the minute candles or 15-minute. It doesn't really matter. Setups typically are the same. Now, remember, higher time frames are more accurate. Lower time frames are more, I wouldn't say they're inaccurate, but they're more subject to influx of flow of movement. The structure isn't as strong, if that makes sense. So knowing what we know, and then, Mo likes to make these plays too. If he sees a 13 test, sometimes you'll see that rejection. So that's exactly what we were going for. We got that. And then we had that nice big wash, and we kept playing that downside. And then we had that big run up. I also played some calls on the same day. I was like, listen, guys, if you guys are smart, you guys would pick out like a 1 DTE, and I said it in the options chat Discord. I was like, you might get a 1 DTE bounce right here off the 50. And that's exactly what happened. We came up over here. We have that rejection right here off the 5, and now we're kind of down here. Now, I got into a call yesterday too as well, expecting that we would have a bounce. I was expecting a stronger bounce, at least possibly to the 5. I was looking to get right up in this zone. I grabbed a 734 call, I believe. Looks like we're kind of heading lower now, currently heading right back down to the 50. What was I looking at earlier before? I think I was looking at the minute chart. So let's break this down on the minute chart. I'm going to go into after hours in the pre-market. Now, I like watching this, guys, because this is a very telling story. I know a lot of people don't do the after hours or the pre-market. I use this as a kind of a little guideline a little bit because it does show gaps, and most of the time these gaps get filled. So let's just get rid of the bread bot here really quick. So if we're just looking at this chart naked, um, you can see that we're probably going to head down to 723. Yeah, 723 area. So keep that in mind. Uh, right now we can probably even get into a trade here based off of that alone. And also, we're still kind of in a downtrend. We did get that little small bounce up. I was hoping we would even open up around here. Didn't get it at all. And like I said, if you kind of zoom out, you can see that we're still in that channel. Looks like we got that double top right here. Well, really, it's a triple top. You got a top right here, right? Top right here, and then a top right here with this nice sell-off that we had. That's the Tuesday that we were talking about. This was Wednesday. So this black right here is the market, okay? This is the after hours right here. And then this little orange one is the pre-market hours, just so you guys know, if you guys were not aware. These two lines I drew, man, I think I drew these a couple months ago. And it's respecting those lines. This is also a good way to have future reference of a zone of support or resistance. You can clearly see it bounced a couple of times. Once right here as a support, another one right here as a support, and then obviously we failed this, and then it acted as a resistance right up over here. So you can use these long-term charts or even long-term trend lines to even kind of slightly predict the future for future trades, because as long as it's a key support area or a key resistance area, it can act as a support or a resistance. So if you didn't know, now you know. All right. So it looks like we're getting a little push here. Let's go over to Webull. I think I was in a trade yesterday. Yeah, I'm just gonna close this out. There's a bad there's a bad trade. So we're just gonna reset this, clear that out, because we're gonna set up some new trading lines here. Looks like MACD right here is kind of curling over. RSI sitting at 44, 45-ish area. Let's look at the general overall market here. All right, so as you guys know, I watch the leaders of SPY, which are the MAG, well, I would say the MAG 7, because it's only 5 of them, so the MAG 5, I guess, and the ones that I like. So I know Google and Amazon are higher up on the percentage chain of what they own, but I personally like looking at Advago and Meta, Broadcom and Meta. So Google and Amazon are higher percentage holders in SPY than these two. I just like the movement on these a lot more. So it looks like Microsoft had that nice little sell-off. We could, and also guys, just to recap, I do this on the 5-minute for all 5 of these. This is the 1-minute chart right here for SPY. Just in case if you guys are curious. So all 5 of these, 5-minute, 1-minute. I do this mainly because I like seeing the bigger moves happen, and it gives me a little more broader picture of where SPY is possibly going to go. Kind of right now, it looks like we ripped up, surprisingly, 50 tests here. So it looks like Apple and Nvidia and Broadcom are looking like they're going to peak out right here, because we're got the 5 cross the 50, 13 crossing up right here. Looks like the 5 kind of wants to try to break out, but got to be careful right here because the Bollinger Band's getting real tight on Nvidia right now. So we're either going to squeeze up or we're going to squeeze down here. Now remember guys, we did have that gap down below in the pre-market, so we got to be aware of that. This could easily flip, but currently it looks like we're heading up. Not bad, not bad. All right. Now, this could be also because the SpaceX IPO, we could see things kind of shifting back into the market, more inflow, kind of a news event type deal, I think personally. I think that's also what I was basing my trade off of too yesterday. Um, the one that I posted in my channel is the 50 test, and it was the release of the IPO. I feel like it's going to bring a huge flow into the market. That's my personal take. It's that, or it's gonna. I mean, it's not gonna crash the market. Okay, let's not be dramatic here, but it could definitely make some moves. Either way, I personally am bullish. I am bullish bias every single day of my life when it comes to the market. So it looks like we have the 5 just crossed the 50 right here. So let's see that momentum continue. What we really need to see here is Microsoft get some legs. I would love to see Microsoft go to about 408 today. That would be ideal. 408 to 410 area. Nvidia is still doing its thing. All right. So let's go over here. We're going to do some paper trading here. I know yesterday a couple people had some questions about the options chain, so I'm just going to bring this over here and we're going to talk about this for a split second here, okay? Because I know some people are very, very curious how the option chain works. I'm just going to go over this very briefly and very fast here, okay? Because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Because we got a very limited time and I want to make some trades with you guys. All right. So one of our experts in the Discord, Front and Options, he has a great video about delta and gamma and the Greeks and stuff like that. We also have it in the learning library too, in the class library. If you guys go over there and check it out, I highly recommend it. It goes over all that kind of stuff to kind of give you a little small breakdown. Now, if you guys want a more in-depth detail, this leads me into getting the master course classes, guys. Master course classes are fantastic. I'm just going to pull this up over here. In the link in the description of this video, you can pull up my digital business card. It's the first link. It's going to have the master course classes right here. Okay, you're going to click on that bad boy. And I recommend getting all 3 of them, the crypto, the options, and the technicals. Now, if you only just want to get one, get the technicals. Technicals, hands down, is the best. It's going to take you very far. Also, I got the Earner Plus for the for the monthly, yearly, and lifetime, and we also got the payment plans for the lifetime. Also, guys, this is a big news drop. I'm going to be doing something special for some lifetime members, for new members that sign up for the lifetime. I don't have it done yet, but just know big news is coming for people who sign up with the lifetime membership soon, real soon. When I drop that in the next we'll say about 12 days. In 12 days, I'm going to have an announcement for people who sign up for the lifetime membership. Okay. So check that out, guys. Definitely recommend those courses. So you're going to see these are the main things that you're going to kind of want to be interested. You're going to be watching when you're doing 0 DTEs. I do 0 DTEs, and it's very simple. I don't really necessarily pay attention to the Greeks too much. Well, hardly really at all, because I'm opening and closing a contract the same day, so it doesn't really necessarily matter to me. I'm just looking for a certain move in a certain time frame really quick to get in and out of the play. So you're going to be looking mainly at these 3 right here. So the last, ask, and the bid right here. And, well, sorry, 4. So you're going to do the strike, bid, ask, and the last price. So the last price is pretty much what it's currently sitting at. Obviously, the last price of what it was sold at. You can see that right over there on the left here. You can see obviously it changes as the market goes up, as it goes down. So what we go for, we got to go for the ask price when we're doing trading, because that's what the sellers are selling it as, right? So there's people who sell contracts and there's people who buy contracts. We're buyers of the contracts. People who are selling contracts are people who have 100 shares or more for that stock or that ticker, right? and they're selling you their stocks, right? Their shares to you in a contract. One contract is 100 shares, just so you guys know. And this is what they're asking for it, $1.86. So the ask price is the one it normally sells at. The bid price is normally the buyer asking for that price. So sellers are the ask price, right? Buyers are the bid price. We're buyers. Now, sellers obviously want to sell at a higher premium. We want to buy at a lower premium, right? Retail wants to sell you something big, 20 bucks. We're like, nah, give me that 50% discount. I want it for 10. That's pretty much kind of how I look at it. And then obviously the strike price is right here in the middle. And then you see where the stock is currently sitting. So SPY is currently sitting at 730 right now. We're up about 4-ish, 5-ish%. I think I'm gonna get out of my SPY call. I have that SPY call that I had earlier in the Discord. So I might close that out for a little small gainer. Anyway, so we can see right here. Now remember, in the money and out of the money. We buy like just at the money. So just outside the money, but basically it's like in between because it's so close right here. Now, obviously, if you're in the money, it's anything below this number right here. So 730, anything below 730 is technically in the money, which is what you see right here. So 730, 729, 728, 727, these are all in the money, right? Anything above this number, out of the money, which is obviously these numbers right here. And that's pretty much kind of the basics that you need to know for the 0DTEs. Like I said, personally, oh man, I think I want to get out right here. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to get out. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. All right. I had to set up a sell price for my ask for my SPY call that I got yesterday. I'm getting out. Yeah, all right. I just got out. Sorry. Had to make sure I locked in some profits before we started doing our paper trading here. I didn't want to lose those gains. It's a nice little play. I'm going to post it up in my Discord here, or not in my Discord, in the Discord on my channel after this live, so you guys can see what I did. Obviously, you guys saw me post in the after hours. And if you guys didn't know, also too as well, SPY, QQQ, and SPX. You can trade options 15 minutes after bell. Now it's not the same day. You can't 0DTE after the 15-minute time frame before market because all options close 15 minutes before market, depending on what platform you're using. So I think Robinhood basically is about 15 minutes. So keep that in mind. So you can only do those for like the three or four tickers. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into a put play here. We're going to see if this is a breakdown of structure. Man, premiums are crazy. Crazy. All right, we're going to go for it. We're in. We're in. We're going to see if we can come down. We're going for this 13 test here, right here. So we're looking for about $1 move down. Not that I'm going to get it because obviously we look kind of bullish. Market's been looking fairly good. I'm looking for a rejection here. Man, markets do look good right now though. But we did have that small red candle that I'm kind of basing this trade off of here. Nope. If we create a new higher high here, I'm going to be out. Yeah, it looks like we did. Let's see. I'm going to give it 2 more candles here. This is slightly curling down. We'll see. Slightly early entry, but that's okay. Not a bad look. All right, so while we're doing this trade, we do have volume. I kind of want to talk about this too a little bit as well. If you guys are on Webull, uh, cool little trick that I got going on over here. If you go right in this little section in your options chain, you see this little bad boy that's kind of highlighted where it says volume, IV, HV. Click on this bad boy right here, okay? And right up here, you're going to want to type in the ticker that you're watching. It's going to give you the option statistics here. Now, this is really important if you're an options trader. This is going to kind of give you a little edge here of kind of what the market's doing. Now, you can clearly see these are calls. These are puts right here, and you can see the total volume, and you can see who's winning and who's losing right here based on this bar graph, okay? And then you're going to see these little overview of obviously the volume, 30-day volume average, this kind of type of stuff, right? Now you can see the volatility levels. Looks like we got high volatility levels, 52 weeks. Historically, right? It's going to show you all this kind of good stuff. Now, what I personally like looking at is right here, the call volume and the puts volume. This is the overall puts and calls, what the tickers are looking like, and you can see the percentages right here. Now, this is going to give you a slight edge on the market here. Okay, now this isn't going to give you, all right, looks like we're right where I said we were going to go. We're 13 test right now. Sorry, I'm just now watching that too right now. Let's see if we get a 50. A little 50 test here. Should probably get out. Actually, you know what? Let's get out. So boom, look at that. That's a 20%er. Look at that, 490. Now, this is what I'm talking about, guys, when I'm talking about your bills and everything else. This is the type of money that you guys could be making and putting into your to making your lives easier. Okay, it looks really easy. I make it look really easy, but honestly, this is pretty difficult stuff. This is me. This is after a couple years of doing this type of stuff, okay? So it's not as simple as easy. Oh, look, right here, click. I take in so much data and so much information. As you can clearly see, it's kind of like scattered all over the place. I'm looking at 6, 7 different charts, multiple different time frames, 15-minute daily, 1 minute, 5 minutes. Looking on a support and resistance line, a breakout structure, candlestick patterns, EMAs, right? There's so much stuff that we're intaking all the time, right? So I make it look easy, but honestly, guys, it's really hard. I've been burned quite a few times, so just be careful. Is this part of the Earner Plus, or does this cost extra? Amy, for the Master Course classes, that's something separate. It's its own different entity. It's because it's a class. You're paying for class, and you're paying for a whole different thing. It took Mo about a couple of years to even put all this stuff together. I'm gonna actually, guys, I forgot. I keep forgetting. I need to go over a review of the Master Course classes, because I've taken the Master Course classes. That's also why I'm an expert. It's because I'm master trading almost. It brings you there. It definitely elevates you to the next level. I used to be a very, very slow beginner, and once I got the courses, it put things into perspective for me for trading. So definitely pay that. I'll go over that extra I'll go over the course classes probably in the next couple days or so. Maybe I'll do a live tomorrow, just kind of just doing a Q&A and questions and stuff like that. I have to head to an appointment. Wish I could stay longer. Okay, thank you. I'll check it out. Yeah, no problem, guys. All right. So looks like we're at the 30% mark right here for my trade. This is where I consistently see trades get to, and this is where I like to exit trades, is at this 30% mark right here. Normally when I enter a trade, I always see about 30%. This is my sweet spot. This is my bread and butter. This is where what I call stacking 30s. So if you guys get a 30%er, I'd highly recommend you guys kind of get out. I mean, I'm kind of late on this because it looks like we're rebounding off of the 50 here. So obviously this isn't what this is. When you're paper trading too, guys, remember this lags behind a little bit. So just be mindful of that lag, okay? So it looks like we're gonna pretty much get out of here. I should have gotten out, but I'm yapping. I'm yip yapping about these trades. So I think we're gonna get out here. I just need that down a little lower, okay? Last price 272. We're gonna go. Oof. Looks like the reversal. I don't think we're gonna be at 272 anymore. Do I want to stay in? Do I want to risk it? I don't really want to risk it. This looks like it's gonna fan out and continue higher. All right, we're just gonna get out right here. All right, well, technically I lost that trade, technically, but we all know what really happened here. I was sitting here explaining this to you guys. Anyway, I would have exited that trade normally, but it's the general idea. You guys understand like what I'm getting at here? So let's just do a recap of the breakdown of the play here really quick. So we had this nice run up, big engulfing candle. You have the EMAs crossing right here. You have the 5 crossing the 50, right? Here, let's just zoom in here for you guys. So you got the 5 right here crossing the 50. This gives us a bullish indication that, hey, we're possibly going to head up higher. Looks like we hit some slight resistance. We came down, tested the EMA. Next opening candle was pretty much off of the 13. Boom. As soon as that happened, big engulfing candle invalidated these 2 candles right here. Now remember, guys, when you see an engulfing candle, sorry, weird noises were happening outside. Definitely got my attention. Um, God, I love coffee. I don't know about you guys, but I love some good coffee. Anyway, every time you see an engulfing candle here, normally leads you to head higher. Not always. Sometimes you'll see an engulfing candle, kind of like this one. Great example. You'll see this engulfing candle, but it's not really engulfing anything necessarily per se. It's just a nice bounce off of the 13 all the way heading higher. And it looks like we're hitting a resistance right up here. So this would also be a good play to get into a put right here. So you know what? Let's take a shot here real quick again. Now remember, when I'm doing these puts too, I'm doing these in the implements of 10 contracts. You can see the quality of contracts here. It's the same way Mo does it. Now, Mo likes to scale out. He likes to maybe set 5 off or take half off. I personally like exiting whole positions because I'm using it as a general guide of support resistance areas. And so that way too as well, I get the full move that I'm looking for. Now, sometimes does that burn me? Yes. Majority of the time, no, because I kind of know what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at. And I'm looking for a generalized area of where I want it to go. So for me personally, I would love for this to go down to right around here. So probably around the 50. So we're probably looking at 29.75-ish area. We'll see if we get it. These EMAs look like they want to come back down. So if we can get the cross, if we can get the 5 under the 13, obviously no guarantees because we're currently bullish. Every time that we saw the 5 curl down right here, even coming close to the 13, we're getting that bounce. Same thing right here too. Again, just getting real close, boom, got another big bounce. So maybe we'll get this wash, maybe we won't. I think we personally might, just based off of just this little top right here. We came up, tested, rejected, came up with this engulfing candle, rejected again. So I think we do have some more downside right here. Does that make sense? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Now, the idea would have been mainly to get in right here. This would have been the, sorry, this would have been the move right here. Right here. This top to this top, coming back down, testing. I would have got in probably right here too, just to get this nice wash down right here. Yes, I want to delete that. Now let's go back over here to the bread bot here, guys. This is important also to have. Keeping the bread bot gives me a load of confidence. This is why I love the bread bot. It's very accurate. It gives me great information. See how we got the oversold right here? Now, when you guys get the oversold and you got the breaking of the Bollinger Band, this is a triple crust right here, basically. 1, 2, 3. Triple crust is basically when you get the Bollinger Band broken, And then we got the indication of RSI being oversold, which leads me to believe what, guys? We're going to have a rip up. We're going to have a relief rally. This is pretty much what we're seeing here right now. It's that relief rally. Yes, the more I watch, the more I learn. Amy, I'm glad you're getting the information. This is good, dude. Guys, this is great information. I mean, I personally think I give some fairly decent breakdowns of things and explanations of what I'm doing and what I'm looking at when trading. So, like I said, when you have the triple breaking of the Bollinger Band right here, and also you got the oversold RSI, like I said, you're going to have that relief rally. And that's what we had right here. It caught a little base of support. And if you scroll out too as well, you see this little wick candle right here? This is why I also use things as general guides. I don't necessarily use this line, right, as like, oh, if it touches this line, it's going to do this very specific thing. No, I don't trade like that. I use generalities. I trade zones. So when I look at this line, I'm thinking, okay, it could go a little bit under, could be a little bit above. It could not even touch here. It could, it could do multiple different things here. So I use it as a general guide. This was basically the bottom. What happened here just kind of broke down a little bit, and then we came right back up. I got to go back to this trade. I got to close this out. So I'm just going to take a small win there, 70 bucks, because I think this is reversing back up. At least that's what it looks like for me. All right, maybe not. Came back down. But listen, you guys can do this very quickly. You can take profits quickly. Doesn't really matter the amount as long as you're profitable, guys. I always say too in the Discord, a win's a win. Listen, if you stack $10 10 times, 10 wins, $10, right? Each move, it's $100. I don't care what anybody says. So, and that's why also I said I look for those 30%. Those 30% trades keep you consistent. Who cares about the dollar amount? Every time I see people trade dollar amounts, they're like, oh, I have to get this specific dollar amount. No, guys, what you really want to be looking for, at least what I focus on when I'm trading, is that percentage. So that's why I said stacking 30s is really important, because it creates discipline. It also creates consistency. And consistency is key in long-term trading over time in the market. It beats everybody hands down. The more consistent you are, the better. It's going to create a better structure. It's going to make you become a better trader, and it's going to make you see things more clearly. All right, so here's that wash that I was looking for. I got out a little early, no big deal. I truly learned something new when I watch y'all's videos. Well, Amy, I'm glad. This is extremely helpful. I hope it helps everybody else too. If you guys find this video helpful, hit that like button down below. I appreciate it. Lets me know that you guys are, not that you appreciate the video, but it's just mainly for me to know that, hey, I got some useful information out of today. And so, yeah, like I said, so you're trying to hit those consistency when you're trading. Now, when you do a different trade at a different strike price, now those percentages kind of change, right? If you're doing like a $10 contract, this is just an example. $10 contracts are obviously really expensive. They're about $1,000. That's like SPX type of stuff. But if you're doing a contract for like 10 bucks, which is $1,000, and you see, a 30% move down, it's a couple $100 right there. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big move. Now, if you did that on a smaller scale for like $100, you know what I mean? It's a couple of bucks. That's like 30 bucks. You know what I mean? So obviously, the larger you scale in or the smaller you scale out, the percentages are the same, because it's what you're using the strike price as, right? For that trade, boom. No matter the price or the strike, you're going to be consistent in winning. It doesn't matter how big the contract is. My problem is recognizing when a good spot for that relief to start. I'm scared catching the move after it's exhausted. So that's what you got to kind of base your support and resistance lines on. So right here, clearly we had that little, I don't really like to consider this a double top, because it's not, the time frame isn't wide enough for it really necessarily. So I would just consider this a resistance area personally. So I wouldn't consider this, like I said, a double top. A double top is mainly for like when you see a wider swing. So if this comes back up and tests this little support area right here and it comes back up and touches here later on, then I would consider this more of a double top. But the time frame's just really short right here, so I wouldn't really consider that. When I watch Mo's live trading videos, I learn something, even though he's super fast. I hope to be that fast. Yeah. So that's exactly kind of how I am when I come in here and trade in the mornings too as well. You'll see me literally just kind of go over a brief analysis of the market really quick, look at the charts for like, I don't know, a couple minutes maybe, if that, and then I'll be like, all right, I kind of see exactly where it is. This is also why I keep in mind the pre-market and in the after hours too as well. I don't base and I don't use these mainly for what how do I explain this? I don't use this mainly for generalities when trading because this stuff is all different than when market opens because obviously there's more buyers and more sellers and stuff like that when market opens. So you're going to have a lot more volatility. These are people that are trading shares and stuff like that. So I don't really use this 100% for generalities or anything like that. So it's just for like simple movements and stuff like that. So it looks like we're going to keep washing. We'll see if this support line kind of holds. We'll see. You got a Bollinger Band oversold here. It looks like we have a breaking of one, but we got the 5 crossing right here, the 50 and the 13 coming down. We could have a bigger wash here. Now, before this 13 comes down, a lot of the times I will see another EMA test. We could possibly have a 50 test or just a 5 test again. It looks like we already had that kind of 5 test after we broke the Bollinger Band. Remember, guys, every time you break a Bollinger Band, more times than not, you will see a relief. Now, it doesn't have to be right away, right? Kind of how like you see right here. This is a great example of that you see, boom, 3 breaks before it had that little kind of relief. And then you still had it still kind of continuing down with the oversold RSI. But then you had that little relief rally. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. See, here we go again. Now you have the 13 crossing right here. We could get into another play. I don't know. Are puts the play today? Puts might be just the play today. Remember too as well on the technical analysis that we got over here. Remember what I said. Let's get rid of the bread bot here. Boom. You see how we have this big gap up? We could fill this gap today from pre-market, sorry, from after hours to pre-market. And this could go all the way to 723. Not saying that it will, but it's a possibility. It's something that I keep in mind too as well. And if you guys are ever unsure if it will, dude, literally just draw a line here, bro. Just draw a line. Future reference. Remember, don't be afraid to pull out your crayons, guys. Pull out your crayons, sharpen them with your teeth a little bit or do whatever it is that you need to do, but start drawing some lines on your guys' charts. Who cares if it looks ugly? You know what I mean? Just start messing around with it. Start playing with the ideas. You know what I mean? So we might just sit in this channel here. Who knows? See, this is also another good thing to watch out for. Just because you have the 13 crossing doesn't mean that this can't curl back up and around and head for a rebound back up. Because I see it happen all the time. Sometimes these things are short-lived and you don't get a full wash. So sometimes what I personally like to do too as well is to preemptively see it. So every single time you guys are kind of watching this is after like watching the charts day in and day out for hours and hours and hours at a time. I know not everybody has that type of time, but if you do have the type of time to just go back, rewatch the market, that's another good thing that you guys can do. You see this little replay bar button up here? You can do back testing on this kind of stuff. So let's just say you missed the whole market that day. Just go back. Don't even look at the charts. Just rewind everything and then do a play-by-play of what the market's doing. And then before you even get anywhere, before you even go ahead, like fast forward ahead, maybe chart something out. Be like, okay, this looks like, um, I don't know, a cup and handle or a double bottom or a triple top or whatever the pattern looks like. We're going to be going over patterns too as we progress here. Sorry guys, I know this is taking a long time. I'm currently like in the move. I just got a computer. I'm building a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to build a setup so I can bring you guys some really, really, really great stuff. Uh, I have a whole planned thing for you guys, honestly. It's gonna be a kind of a long process here, but we'll see. I honestly have great ideas coming to you guys for learning and stuff like that too. So keep that in mind and stay tuned. Um, Now I just kind of forgot what I was talking about. Hmm, that happens a lot. Anyway, do you do live streams at other time frames? What do you mean? Like, I mean, I have multiple different other time frames already here. So like, these are all on a 5 minute time frame right here, and then this is a 1 minute time frame right here. So I have spies holdings right up over here. So these five are 5 minutes, and I also look at the 15 minute. So when I'm trading, so 1 minute for spy, obviously because I day trade, and then these are all 5 minutes right here. And then I normally am looking at the 15 minute also as well. I trade a lot on the 15 minute, and you can see how this correlates too as well when trading. So the 15 minute is obviously my favorite. So you can see clearly too as well when we broke it down on the minute chart that my charting's pretty top. Also, you can clearly see this was a resistance up over here. I wasn't even really paying attention to it, but now that we're getting into a higher time frame, it's more accurate. You can see that, boom, we basically bounced right here, rejected. So it wanted to fight. We got the rejection. So I'm thinking that we're going to head lower. We're going to head all the way down to here possibly. And that's exactly what it's looking like. You have that 13 crossing right here, the 50, and I expect a wash. Big wash. So we'll see if this line holds. Like I said, just because you got this rejection right here doesn't mean that this can't curl back up. I've seen it happen plenty of times. So just be aware of that. Oh, okay. Or later. Oh, okay. So you're talking about like different period times of the day. Unfortunately, I don't dash. I work a 9 to 5, so I literally do this stuff for you guys. I wake up at like 5:30, 5:30 every day so I can make my coffee, get everything ready, get this all set up for you guys, and then I jump in the charts with you right at bell open. So unfortunately, this is the only time frame window that I got in order to teach. So this is the only frame that I got because I'm at work. I used to live stream at work, but it's really hard to do that, honestly. And the mic is terrible, and I'm busy. I got to do other things. So and then also if I'm doing the live, it would be literally my whole like 6 to 8 hour shift. I used to do it though. I used to do it for you guys, but nobody would really watch, so I stopped doing it. I used to post a bunch of news and stuff like that. Not like newscasts or anything like that, but market news. So I'm trying to make this my day job. Crypto beat, yeah, a lot of people can do this, and this is what I'm talking about too here, guys. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. That you guys could really incorporate this type of winning, this type of money, this type of stuff to your bills. So like you clearly saw obviously at that 30% mark earlier in the trade, we were up like $700. Dude, $700 is like some people's paychecks for the week, sometimes even 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys watch Caleb Hammer, but I watch him the financial audit. In the last previous one, this lady was working her 9 to 5 job, I think. Well, it might have been part time. I don't really remember. But she's like, yeah, I take home like $750 every 2 weeks, and I'm just like, oof. How do people survive? Obviously, she did a couple of different other things, had a couple of different businesses or whatever that she had or that she was running. So, but that's what I'm saying, guys. The power of trading. I mean, really break it down. How much do you make an hour, right? Let's just say, I don't even know how much maybe you make like $25 an hour or something like that. Or let's just say your take home pay for the week is like $900, right? If you do that, right, how much you make an hour after taxes? So you make maybe what, about like maybe about $200 a day. You know what I mean? But a little bit under, obviously, like 150, 175 ish. Uh, obviously, my math isn't mathing, but break that down. If you just made that $200 in that one day, right? You made your week's pay in 5 days. Day trading. We did this in an hour. I made $750. And how long did that take, guys? Seriously. Let's just do the math here real quick. Where'd I get in at? I got in over here. So what? I got in on this candle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 minutes, guys. Literally 5 minutes. And then obviously you got the reversal right here. But in about 5 minutes, if I wasn't yapping and I would have sold, we would have been up 750 for the day. You know what I'm saying? And like this is the stuff that you guys can incorporate. Oh, well, you guys couldn't even see the charts here. Sorry. So we got in right here. You just saw my big face and I was sitting here counting. Hilarious. So you can clearly see we got in on this candle right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes, guys. Literally 5 minutes, $700. Literally made a week's worth of pay in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And this is the power of trading. So let's go back over, and it looks like it's respecting my line here. Crazy. It's like my lines are lining. You see that, guys? This is why it's good to draw things out here and also keep other things in mind. So I was like, we could possibly bounce here, or we could possibly head lower to head down to here, right? So it looks like we're having that 50 test right now, right? We could come all the way back up here and test here again, or we can reject. It looks like we're kind of breaking out above. But like I said, it's just important. Pull out your crayons, dude. Start drawing those lines in here. Start doing your charting. Start tweaking it around a little bit. This is why I call this place the Trading Lab, because I want people to incorporate different ideas, or if they have questions about something, they can come here, ask, and we can test these things out. You know what I mean? This is a great way also when you're paper trading to test your guys' theories and your analysis. It's really important that you guys test your analysis. Your technicals, learning your technicals is far important, and just kind of just doing a generalization of things. I find it really helpful personally, like I said, and this is why I trade like this. I trade general zones, general areas, right? I don't mind getting out a little bit later. I don't mind getting out a little bit early. It happens. You know what I mean? I'd rather, like I said, be consistent. Profit, 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 right? Doesn't matter. One of my favorite memes in the Discord is Fast and Furious. I know you guys, everyone's must have watched. Well, I can't say everyone actually, because there are people that don't watch movies very often. But Fast and Furious, when Vin Diesel comes over and he's like, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. It's great, dude. I love that reference. It's a great reference because it is true. And that's another thing too that I got really mixed up in. This is just kind of my own personal little take. I got mixed up in a lot of like, man, I need to make this dollar amount. I need to make this dollar amount. And really started messing with my trading and my psychology of trading. And I was like, what if I stopped doing that? What if I just started just raking in these wins? Doesn't matter the percentage or the dollar amount, but what if I just started stacking these wins? And I turned like, and this is when I really had a big breakthrough for me personally. I turned like $50 into like $700, and I was like, man, what if I scaled this? You know what I mean? Obviously, more risk, obviously, more money, more losses or wins. But I was like, man, if I can just keep scaling this in and out, in and out, and that really opened me up into understanding that trading is a great tool that you can use to better yourself financially, right? We're all trying to strive for financial freedom. I'm still striving for financial freedom. You know what I mean? I hope to retire one day and do this, for fun, and, maybe do exactly what Mo's doing, just coming on here, giving you guys information, teaching you guys, doing some live trading and stuff like that. And, setting up my future future self for better opportunities and stuff like that. So that's why I'm saying like this stuff's great, guys. This stuff's great. All right, so let's jump back into it. We might get a rejection right here. What do you guys think? Should we do one more trade? Yeah, we're going for it. I got a terrible price. Absolute dog water price. Uh, hot dog water. Anyway, I'm expecting this to continue down. We got the 5 push down. This engulfing candle right here kind of took these other 2 out right here. Pretty much fulfilled this whole thing. Down to the bottom, it actually broke past this slightly by like, I don't know, a couple cents, like 2-3 cents. So we'll see if this actually comes down. Remember, guys, the 13 is stronger than the 5, so you got to be aware of that. But I personally think we're going to come back and test this support area right here again. So let's see if we get that. Look at that. Nice, good wash. Let's come back over here. And this is why I'm also looking at multiple different charts too as well. I use the Breadbot because, like I said, gives you that confidence right here to verify your guys' trades. And I know these EMAs look different. It's because they are. I have my Webull set up slightly different than my TradingView. And my TradingView is slightly different than my Robinhood account too as well. Because they're all, I use them for different things. I intake a bunch of different data and stuff like that. So boom, this should be our big win here. We're only up about 80 bucks, but I think we're gonna probably take away maybe 750 from this. Hopefully. Let's see if we can get another one here. I like that the 5 crossed the 13. Let's go over here and look at the statistics on the volume here. Looks like the puts are still up only by like, only about like 30, about 300,000. Actually, oh, well, the bids is where you're seeing the biggest discrepancy. Look at that. 663, 683. Where are we at right now? 728. Looks like the puts are winning substantially. Look at that change right here. Only 74K for the calls and 131K for the puts. So to me, that looks good. Oh, looks like we got hit with a reversal. Man, I was a loser there. All right, we're out. I'll take that loss. I'm not even going to chance that. Looks like it's a VWAP test right here. We did have a good, nice wash down, though. Right idea, bad timing. And that's what happens too, guys. You don't be afraid to get in and out really quick. So it doesn't look like I walked away with any winning trades today. We're down 490. I'm just going to reset that because I don't like watching. I don't like watching that. Not because I've taken a loss, but because I like resetting it so I know exactly what I'm actually looking at for the next day. I don't think I'm going to paper trade anymore today. I kind of have a generalization of where we're going to go in the market. Also, I got to leave. I got to get ready for work. I'm literally about to walk out the door right now in a couple minutes because it's, well, it's not 10:30 my time. It's 7:30 my time right now. So I got a 3-hour difference from market time to where I'm at. So guys, I hope you guys found this information helpful. Like I said, I'm going to go right here. We're going to go over to the course classes because I know that's something that you guys were asking about. So right there in the description of the video is my link right here to my digital business card. Now, guys, if you guys have anybody else, you know, a family member or a friend or somebody's asking you what you're doing and how you're making this kind of money, you can send them my digital business card if they're interested in joining the Discord. I keep all my codes updated. I keep them. Obviously, this is very easy because I literally have everything in one place. You don't have to go around and search for it. Everything's all right here. So if you guys are interested, you guys can use my digital business card and send it to whoever you want to join the Discord. I would highly appreciate it. So we're just going to go over here. We're going to click the master course classes. Remember, guys, this is a separate entity than what you'd get from the lifetime. These are all separate. So if you just wanted the one technical course, you can. Personally, you should just get the bundle. It's only literally a couple of bones more. So I'm going to show you that. So code SAVE right here is going to get you that 50% discount or 40%. So it's $279, okay, for one class. It's a deal. Okay, that's a solid deal. You get 400 off. 400 off. We're running a sick promo right now. Sick promo, and that's just for the one class. Like I said, I highly recommend the bundle. You might as well just get the bundle. We have a discount on the bundle right now, so you get half off. Well, not half off. You get, yeah, about half off. You get $938 off already because we're normally selling them for about $2. Type in code SAVE. That's going to get you another additional 40% off here, guys. So that's going to bring you down to $699. Okay. I mean, look at that. 1,400 off, basically. It's a solid deal, guys. Solid deal for all three of the courses. And this will make you, like I said, a master. This will elevate your trading. I'm telling you. It'll elevate your trading. I've taken the courses. I love them. Like I said, they brought me to a whole nother level of trading. The class library, like I said, I say this almost in every video here, guys. Class library is like high school level learning. It's very basic, just gives you little hints here and there. The master course classes are like college level experience, like teaching, and it's going to teach you how to trade. It has everything that you need to know in there. And as you guys know, Stockmo, he is an educator, right? He used to be a teacher, him and his wife, him and Miss Mo, you know. So they created a classroom learning environment, and it's one of the best that I've ever seen, honestly, personally. And I'm not just saying that to, you know, whatever. Sorry, I forget. Sometimes I forget that I got to keep this very, very clean and friendly here. But like I said, he creates that classroom environment. I highly recommend it. One of the best I've ever seen, hands down. And I'm not just saying that just to say that. Also, guys, if you guys are interested in following me in any of my socials, you can. It's also in that description right there. My links to financial freedom. They're all down right here in the description of the video. You can follow me on my X, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. Also, if you guys don't have a platform you guys are using, I use Robinhood and Webull. You can use my links to sign up right here, and we'll both get gifted a stock, as you can see. So take advantage, guys. Take advantage. I don't know how long Code Bread's going to be for. Also, big news dropping here pretty soon. I'm going to be doing something for people who sign up for the lifetime membership soon. In about, like I said, 12-ish days. I got some news. I got some stuff I'm working on. And it's something that I want to give back to people who are going to be joining us for life. So keep a lookout for that. Is it monthly? Is what monthly? Is the I'm trying to figure out which what do you mean by the monthly? If you're talking about the classes, no. One-time payment, that's it. You'll be in it for life. You'll have you'll have everything you need for forever. If you're talking about the master course classes. If you're talking about the lifetime plan, we do have a payment plan. And you can see that obviously in my digital business card. But if you're talking about the classes, like I said, one-time payment, that's it. Okay, yeah, one-time payment, that's it. And like I said, you can get them separately if you want. If you just want to get the technical course, you can get the technical course. I highly recommend it. That's my #1 pick, is the technical course. Because as long as you understand the technicals, you'll understand everything else in the market. Technicals are key, in my opinion. But like I said, you might as well just get the bundle deal. Like I said, the crypto, the option, and the technical. It's only a couple bones more, you know what I mean? So might as well just get them all together. And that's like $6.99, I think. Okay, guys, that's all I kind of got for you today. I hope you guys learned something. And like I said, if you did, or even if you didn't, if you just found this information useful, hit that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Just lets me know that this was helpful. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the Discord.